Hey guys, uh, tonight I'm gonna do a runoff of my last video titled "Wicca is Not Evil." Um, you know, like I said, I've been watching these videos, and there's a lot of people on here, trying to say that they have proof that Wicca is evil, and they want to sit there and tell a whole bunch of stuff, and I have yet to hear anyone give any viable, evident proof of Wicca being an evil religion or a dark religion. Wicca, like any religion, has tattered background that has people in it that give it a bad name, just like I said, any other religion. Um, that don't make the religion itself an evil one. One of the things that I'm wanting to talk about tonight is uh, you know holidays. Um, Christians or Christianity teaches that witchcraft, Wicca, and paganism is evil. Their way is the one true way, but they have adopted many of our traditions into their belief system, and and they tell whenever a minister goes into their seminar to become a priest for the Christian church, there is a class in their seminar that they teach about the origins of these holidays and how they are pagan based. They come from pagans and Wiccans, and how the Christians had adopted them, such as Christmas. Um, you know, Christians use Christmas as the birth of Jesus, and the original celebration of Christmas is how we celebrate the God coming into His reign. Anyone that understands Wiccan and paganism understands that the God and Goddess, they share rule over us. Uh, the God gets us during the winter and fall, and the Goddess rules over summer and spring. Um, Christmas is celebrating, the birth of God. Not Jesus Christ, but God, the horned God. Not meaning He's got horns necessarily. Um, God wears a crown. You think of God, you think of King above all. God wears a crown, and His crown is made of stag horns. Just to clarify that for those of you Christians out there that want to talk about how it's a horned God and He's evil. He's not evil. He's wearing a crown. Just like your Jesus wore a crown of thorns. Um, he is known as the God of hunt, and you symbolize hunt with deer and stag. Uh, Easter is celebrating the goddess. Um, Christians adopted Easter as the resurrection of Jesus, and Easter symbolizes the goddess coming into her reign, taking on her throne. Um, those are just two of the holidays that we as pagans and Wiccans have celebrated for hundreds of thousands of years, and the church has adopted as their own belief into their own belief structure. Um, Another one, and a lot of people don't know this, but Halloween was sanctioned by the Catholic Church uh, over 100 years ago. It was originally the Celtic New Year, um, or the Druids' New Year, actually. And the reason being is because we we run everything through the seasons. The seasons are very sacred to us. Um, the spring, the winter, the fall, and the summer. And the way they would measure out their year was by the harvest. Planting and planting their grains and so forth. Um, and they would measure them out by the moon phases. Well, you got your harvest moon, you have Thanksgiving, okay, which is it's just what it is. It's actually a pagan holiday, um, giving thanks to the god and goddess. Um, reason reason being for this is it was the ancients' way of thanking them for a bountiful um, season. All right, you got your harvest moon, you got Halloween, then you have Thanksgiving. Okay, Halloween started the new year. That was the end of their harvest year. And then Thanksgiving, they would take that harvest and they would have a feast to honor the god and goddess. That's why Halloween come right after. I think it's right after Harvest Moon, or Thanksgiving came right after Harvest Moon. I can't be too sure. It's 3 o'clock in the morning, so my brain's not fully functional right now. But these are all holidays that the church adopted from pagans and Wiccans. So if we're so evil in our practices and our rituals and our celebrations, then why are y'all practicing them? Why are y'all adopting them and making them y'all's own? Wouldn't that make y'all evil? So, like I said before, Wicca's not evil. It teaches unconditional love. It teaches, that you're supposed to help other people, help those that are in need of help. Anytime you're able to. We don't worship the Creator's creation, as so many have said that we worship the creation, not the Creator. We worship the Creator. We see the beauty in the creation, and we respect that. And we see spiritualism. We see the God and Goddess in everything that they've created. So, and that's just to point out a few key points of things that I've been hearing a lot of discussions about. And if you're going to talk about something, study it, get your facts right, know what you're saying, get educated on it. You can learn this stuff at any community college, any university. A sad disappointment for those of you Christians that are watching this. If you're planning on becoming a minister or a priest whenever you go to seminar, you're going to learn that a lot of the stuff that you do in the church come from us Wiccans and pagans. The anointing oil came from Wiccans and pagans. The holy water, we've been using it for hundreds of thousands of years before Christianity ever come about. The altars, we've always used altars. The Druids used altars. And whenever the Jews came around, the Jews adopted the altars, and they used altars, as well as stones and crystals and so forth and so forth. That the same things that y'all are saying that is evil that we use, y'all adopted them and used them in your own practices. So how are you to sit there and say that our beliefs and our practices are evil? Because we believe in a goddess? Because we believe in a god? That don't make it evil. Y'all's is ignorance to the fact and to the histories of it is flat out disrespectful. You shouldn't deem something evil just because you don't understand it or because you're afraid of it. That's what cost hundreds of thousands of people their lives back during the witch trials. And if you would study on that, you would see how over 80% of those people was wrongfully killed And even the trials themselves were designed to fail the person being persecuted in the first place. I mean, come on. One of the processes was called dunking a witch. And what they would do is they would take that person and tie a rope to each wrist and to each ankle while they were fully clothed, take them out into the middle of a river and let go of the rope. If they sank, then the water accepted them, and they would look at that person and say, oh, well, they're not a witch, and try to save their life before they drowned to death. If the water rejected them and they floated up, then they was evil. They was witches, according to them. So they would burn them, or hang them, or behead them, or stone them, or whatever they would do to them. The problem in this, if you're fully dressed and you go out into the water, your clothes are going to hold air. You're going to float. So how many people was killed just because air was trapped in their clothes? Where is the real evil at? Killing people for your own greed. And that is what the early Christians done. They killed people for greed over land, for greed over power. It wasn't Wiccans doing the killing. I'm not saying that Christianity is evil. Whenever Jesus was alive, he spoke of love. He spoke of compassion. He was a wonderful man, a great teacher. I'm not going to sit here and say that he was a Messiah, because I don't believe that. But I will acknowledge the fact that he did exist. He did teach very wonderful lessons of love and compassion for one another. But people took those lessons to the extreme and deemed him as a Messiah. And y'all expect us to believe that same way. Yeah. But back on point. I'm ranting, but back on point. Y'all say that we're evil. Obviously, we're not. um, you know, one of the main things in Wiccan is unconditional love and respect and reverence for every aspect of life, everything in nature, everything breathing, living. That includes the trees. That includes dogs, cats, birds, whatever have you. We respect that. So I don't see where the evil is in that. I don't see how that y'all can. So like I said before you start criticizing or downing or bashing, do a little bit of study on what you're talking about and get the facts. And do an educated opinion, not just get on here and go, oh, well, they're evil because this book says this or this says that, or my sister's brother knows a witch that does this and does that. It's not an educated decision. You have your own mind. You should use it. And that's all I'm going to say for now. Sorry about the rant, but blessed be.